Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Ernest Saves Christmas. Who else to save Christmas than Ernest P. Worrell? Honestly, anybody my age knows who he is, but anybody who happens to be younger by at least a decade or more, the odds of you watching this are very slim. But do you know who Ernest is? Hey, Vern, do you know? Well, Ernest P. Worrell is the creation of Jim Varney, who first portrayed him in like a local ice cream commercial, and suddenly his sort of slack-jawed hillbilly, in-your-face, energetic character became the equivalent of a meme in the 1980s, and he was everywhere. And so he suddenly became like a nationwide character, and he was beloved by everybody. Yes, he's an obnoxious guy to many, specifically to Vern, who we never see, and actually we inhabit Vern. I'll get to that later. But anyway, this is from 1988. It's an hour and 31 minutes long, and yeah, it stars Ernest as a down on his luck kind of. Well, it's not really down on his luck. He's always pretty positive no matter where he is, despite his circumstances. He's a maniac driver, for sure, and that doesn't help in the fact that he is also a taxi driver. Yeah, so as he's driving taxi, he just happens to pick up none other than Santa Claus at the airport, and chaos ensues. And if you're that type of person who understands this, Ernest is chaotic good. He is 100% just absolute madness, but he's got a heart of gold, and he's more ingenious than he lets on. Most people sort of discount him as just some sort of wacko weirdo, but he is, as a character, I might be presumptuous in saying this, but I feel like he is kind of the prototype for like Jim Carrey's Fire Marshal Bill, and also Ace Ventura. I don't know if anybody's asked him that, but he's the kind of guy that you can see elements of Ernest in these characters. And by the way, there's a ton of Ernest films out there, and I think he made specials and stuff like that when he was a big deal. But at least there's a couple of movies, and well, there's only one on Disney Plus right now, this one. So eat it up. Anything else you're going to have to go hunting for. Anyway, Ernest is a guy who he's good-hearted, and he believes in Santa, and he doesn't realize it's Santa, even though he looks like him. But Santa gets in all sorts of trouble because he's in Orlando looking for his replacement. He's about ready to retire, and he gets to pick his replacement, and that guy just happens to be a children's programming host, like a children's show host that is very much like a young Captain Kangaroo type of guy, but his show just got canceled, and he has the freedom to take on the Santa role until his agent gets him an actual movie role at the same time. So I'm not going to tell you too much else about the plot, but this guy has a struggle between choosing to believe this old man saying that you get to be Santa Claus, and the other guy who's literally giving him a job that will pay him money. And it's a movie called Christmas Sleigh, I think. Christmas Sleigh. So that can't be bad, right? Yeah. And also along the way, Ernest befriends this runaway named Harmony, played by Noelle Parker. And the three of them all have their own little stories that everybody's trying to deal with stuff. So Ernest, he's got to save Christmas, but he's the guy who kind of gets things done, no matter what's going on, no matter what goes wrong, I should say. He's there, full speed ahead, ready to fix it. He's a master of voices. He does John Wayne a lot. He's a master of disguise. And so you have to suspend disbelief when you're watching any of his movies, because at one moment he's just like, hey, we're going to go do this thing to help Santa get out of jail, let's say. And then before you know it, he's dressed up as a school principal, and she's got this innocent teenage girl romper on. I don't know. It's really strange, and they play these characters without even any explanation, and he just goes full force into tricking people into letting Santa go. Yeah, and there's other times he puts on different costumes and different voices, and he is just, again, if you're not used to him, you might seem a little bit obnoxious, but that's his character. That is who he is, and that's all right. It's a fun. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed him, and he's, I think also in a sense where I'm talking about like Jim Carrey being inspired. I have a feeling he's got a little bit of Larry the Cable Guy. Larry the Cable Guy might have taken a little bit from Ernest, at least in his Mater character, because Mater is always big stories and big ideas and just going full force into things, and just, if Larry the Cable Guy had not taken on that job, well, I think Jim Varney would have to be alive in order to have taken that job. I think he passed away before that, because he did play in the Toy Story films, the early ones anyway. He did play Slinky Dog. If you'd recognize his voice, well, that's why he was in Toy Story. At least maybe the first two as Slinky Dog. So yeah, and then somebody else took over the role. But yeah, this is, to me, I was kind of trepidatious about watching this again, thinking, oh, this might not hold up. But it has that kind of manic, fun quality that you get from 80s movies. And it has a tone, but it's not ever inappropriate for children. It's always fun. There might have been a few like inappropriate jokes, but it's like I had to think about it. Like it's not something that kids will ever understand. I had to like go, okay, I have a dirty mind. Yeah, and that's about it. And it's not ever Ernest. It's some other character, usually a bad guy character, or somebody who you don't really connect with, But by the way, there's also a recurring bit with two other characters. They just keep going back to it. It's guys handling the luggage back at the airport, and there's a special delivery for Santa. And once that crate opens up, yeah, it has nothing to do with Ernest, but at it eventually those storylines cross, and well, once you know what's in the crates, it's just like I think it also acts as padding for the film just to spread it out. But these two characters, I don't know what to compare them to. They're just two guys who are freaked out by what they have to deal with in this strange job that has to do with Santa very much. And it's actually many crates, maybe about 8 or 9. So yeah, later on, if you can't figure that out right here, yeah, Ernest's driving skills come into play. Much like he drives a taxi, he drives a sleigh, and, well, you've never seen Santa's sleigh driven this way. So yeah, I gotta mention a few other people here. Douglas Seal plays Santa, and he's perfect. He's been in a bunch of stuff way back with Disney. I'm not gonna tap through and figure it out. Billy Bird, she's also like elder stateswoman of films, especially at Disney, and you'll recognize her if you've seen some older stuff. She's in this as well. So yeah, there's a lot of recognizable faces in this. But again, the man who takes the cake, of course, the man who this is all about is Ernest, and this is its own kind of cult classic Christmas story. So yeah, I say definitely give it a shot. If you have not seen it, get everybody you can, young and old. I think you can appreciate it and have some fun with it. Yeah, I honestly I did not expect to think that I'd be saying that, but it's true. It's true. It's a good film. All right, tomorrow we've already picked out all the Christmas stuff. We only have 2 more. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. We're gonna mix it up a little bit. Sorry to use that expression, but we're watching the Hip Hop Nutcracker. Yeah, it's going to be a very different take on the classic. So we're gonna come back here with that and check it out. The Hip Hop Nutcracker on the next Disney Plus Saturday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow for that.